Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another comic episode of Game My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's Morphin with me tonight?
This is what you may think Joe Butler, but this is actually a delicate robot body. I'm actually somewhere else.
And mindless putty, Red Fox.
We are here to talk about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Volume 2 of the Rise of Drakon, which can be issues from the 2016 run, issues 5 through 8, and annual 2016, because everybody loves a good annual.
Yeah.
So the cover's cool.
The first chapter, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably the only thing I like.
If anybody heard our annual when it came to Turtles, yeah, they can really tell how we feel about it.
That was terrible.
Oh, God.
It was the only issue I didn't read. So
for good reason.
So this annual is 6 different short stories that are in this comic. And you're right. And so the art style is different for every single one. And it's done by a bunch of different artists. And I mean, I don't mind what they are. I just not the biggest fan of them. The first issue, or the first story is good. You are right, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Of just kind of showing them like a day in the life of the Power Rangers. And I like that. Well, a week, and showing you what they go through each week and how he's trying to juggle school and be a Power Ranger because, school is hard. Or you just don't do anything. And
juggling just how difficult it is to be a ranger and live somewhat of a normal life. Yeah, it's overwhelming for anybody. It's like having 2 full-time jobs that you work at least Monday to Friday.
Plus whatever, all the other goofy shit you have going on, you're going to have to make sacrifices somewheres. And they, as a teenager, they try not to, even though as an adult, I believe at some point you probably should.
I mean, you shouldn't be up at 5 a.m. writing your paper. That's, get your sleep. Fuck school.
Mm-hmm. I think
right.
I think that just plays off the other fact too that I know this is supposed to be like a daily thing, but I think very much the show advertises that they're not Power Rangers every day. It's at least a once a week thing.
That's what it always seemed like. Like it was more spread out because they're always like when the episode starts, they're like cleaning up the environment and playing around in the park and stuff. Do they really got time for that?
No.
But no, even the art was good. Just the general story overall for that tiny little opening of the annual was good to me. I loved it. And obviously it focuses for the most part on the Red Ranger. Big plus for me for obvious reasons, but yeah.
Hey, and you get one of my favorite monsters from the first season. I think it's from the first season, that lizard guy with the lizard arms.
Yeah, it is.
I had his toy.
Pretty sure it is anyway, yeah.
I mean, it's cool to see like what they go through and to see how stressful it is, and it's a cute little story.
Yeah, and what they do to kind of decompress as they're sitting on a goddamn volcano that I'm sure the pterodactyl flies out of.
Damn swords. The second one is just god-awful dumb. The art style is dumb. Everything is dumb.
Well, actually, no. All right, so I kind of like this one a little bit. It is absolutely stupid, but it's supposed to be. The Bulk and Skull having powers actually came out in the board game that I play. I have them with their swords. Oh. So, yeah, they've actually done something with this. It's pretty fun.
So them actually becoming, because they essentially become Power Rangers, but one is too fat for the outfit and one is too skinny for the outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And the Zords look like they're cardboard put together, but...
I do like the Dodo helmet is also a big pompadour. I think that's actually pretty funny, too.
It is. I thought it was like if this was a cartoon when we were a kid, like this little spinoff, I think we would have loved it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I mean, it's meant to be dumb, and they pull it off.
And in the end, they get shot and lose their memory.
Mm-hmm.
Also would have been fine with like this is them in like a movie or something at the end, and the same thing still happens. So yeah, it's okay.
Not as good as the Jason one, but it's okay.
Yeah, it was just there. I didn't. The art style is what really upset me. It's too cartoony.
The Trinity one's pretty okay. I like that.
Where it's good.
Yeah, the art style is real good. It probably looks like could be a manga or someone that makes like fake manga. If you guys catch my drift.
Sure. I mean, also, especially with the damn fox thing. Yeah.
I say that's furry art. You can't also not convince me whoever drew this is like a person who draws furry art.
1000%, yes.
Is this supposed to be a character that we know or something? Because they talk to the damn cat girl like they know her.
This is nothing that I've ever seen.
Okay, it's just an annual.
Yeah, I mean, this you could see that they kind of made it like Disney or Barbie-esque, kind of.
Oh yeah.
It was meant to be very girly and touching in a way. That's really what they were going for with this story. And I guess if that's what they're going for, they pull it. Well, not to mention the furry art, but that's what they're going for. They pull it off.
And it's nice to see Trini as the standout for a change.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, you'll see in the series as you go along, they don't treat Trini necessarily like a background character. Like she kind of has the opportunity to take charge and be in the spotlight a lot more often as the series goes on, and I think you guys like it a lot.
I will. I'm always happy to see the other Rangers stand out more than what they did in the show, or how it felt like in the show.
Yeah, in the comics, for now it's the Tommy show, but it won't always be that.
Okay. I figured that was just leading up to Shattered Grid.
The Tommy stuff, I mean, yeah, realistically, if you really get into Power Rangers, like most people are Tommy fans and whatnot, so they had to, I feel, pander to them in a way, to those fans, but it's not everything.
You act like we have someone on the podcast that owns the Dragon Dagger. My God, how can you say that?
Yeah.
Any ideas, Joe?
I don't know. You got me. I don't know. I also agree, though. As much as I am a fan, I do agree. Like there's a time and place where you should give all the Rangers stuff to shine. Like this is an even show. So I mean, I have the same complaints with the other comics. Like whenever was it the Justice League one? Like Jason and Tommy are the ones who actually have lines. Everyone else fucking maybe has one or two lines of dialogue the whole fucking thing. So like
because somebody took a shit and that comic came out of their shit. So, fucking hated that book. It was advertising to me too recently. I saw an ad like, I'm like, I don't want this bullshit. Why are you advertising this? Like, I don't want to read. I read this. I'm good.
Or you have
not want to own it.
You have my other favorite part, which is the end of the annual, which is another thing I'm also a huge slut for, is, hey, you want to find out why the background villain is like kind of an asshole? Here you go. Because this Goldar comic's also pretty good too.
Oh yeah, this is the standout.
The Goldar one is really good.
Yeah.
Because this is stuff that you don't know.
Wonder if they have another brother named Copperhead.
I didn't know he had a brother in the first place. I'm assuming that this is a one-time.
This is comic only. Yeah, you won't hear about that otherwise.
But also, Goldar doesn't have wings in this.
Yeah, I can't explain that too much.
I like it because you see Goldar with a brother. You see the fact that they were working for Zed, but then the brother decides he wants to kill Zed and take over and gets killed himself.
The brother, Silverback, was a lot more ambitious and just ruthless.
Yeah, not as controllable.
So I didn't see his name, so I didn't remember it very well. That's actually legitimately a legit 3-name tier, like fucking brother thing. Goldar, Silverback, and Copperhead. Yeah, that works. That works perfectly.
Oh, I'm glad you get it. Yeah, I mean there is no Copperhead, but I was like, oh, who's their other family member?
Hey, you never know. So in this little thing, they make a comment about
it's pretty nuts, man. Like that should have been in Goldar's hand the whole time.
Yes. Did Zed have skin before?
I'm not going to get into that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to get into that. It's very important as we go.
Okay, it's a while for now, isn't it?
It is. It's quite some time, but when you get there, yeah.
I hope it's violent as fuck.
Okay. I was just curious because that seemed like something that they make a comment and he says Dark Spectre. I'm not sure what Dark Spectre was.
Well, Dark Spectre was originated in the show. Season 5, I think, was maybe the first introduction of him. So when we watched Turbo, they remember the main villain, Malagor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is Dark Spectre. And when In Space came out, they used that same costume for Dark Spectre.
Okay.
I remember you saying that. That's how I remember when you mentioned Dark Spectre. I'm like, okay, I get that reference.
Okay, now I do remember, and I remember looking it up too, and be like, it's the same fucking costume.
Yes. So Dark Spectre is like the biggest baddie of them all. Like he's more threatening than Zed, Rita, or anybody else in Power Rangers universe. Dark Spectre is like a plague, like a virus in a way that would love to take over. He can't enter the Morphin grid, which is why the Rangers are such a big problem for him. In the story where I'm at now, which is pretty much the end of the series before they reboot, Dark Spectre is the main focus of it, and you'll see why. He is the ultimate evil in all of this.
I am definitely excited to read more. I'm surprised how much fun this book is. Not the annual, but I mean the series.
Yeah, obviously.
I was gonna say, you missed the annual, the cartoon one, where they make fun of a bunch of putties for like fucking 15 minutes.
I was about to mention that. I hated this. Where they're like, you bring a putty to school and they think it's a student. Oh, just a putty with a wig on.
Oh, God. All right, so if you want to talk about the dumbest stories in here you go. That's even worse than Bulk and Skull.
Yeah, it was. The last one, I think, is this the last one where it's the Zords fighting somebody, some weird looking villain? And Zordon looks like he was drawn out of a frickin' Beavis and Butthead comic or something?
Just trying to show the Rangers are like still Rangers outside of the costumes and all that, yeah.
Yeah, it was okay.
God, yeah, they all look fucking bad in this. Goddamn, holy shit!
Maybe it's Hey Arnold. It's like a Hey Arnold card. Like it has like a very
definitely art style.
I don't like it at all, but it is what it is.
Honestly, is that what this is too? Do they like make annuals just to be like, hey, we're gonna see who can like make good Power Rangers art, and we're gonna like read reviews. That way, when we decide to actually make like the Boom comics, we can pick a decent art style. So they can sit there and go, oh yeah, people hated these specific comics, and it's like, well, we're not using that art style then, because God, if the Boom comics look like this last like one, I probably wouldn't like it.
I think annuals are very much of we just are able to. We want to get some people to get some or want to do some work, and here we can do a short story and throw it on here. I really think that's kind of where they come from.
I do want to mention, because I think if we're being pretty honest here, the most standout thing in this entire annual is the Goldar backstory. You see Zed's power for the most part. You see just how threatening he is to the entire universe, everything else. When Goldar says, his skin would happen to him, because I know who and what Zed is as we go, it almost doesn't add up. Like, to me, it makes me feel like I don't think Goldar really knew him necessarily before he turned into Zed. So when we get to those points, I'm going to definitely be paying attention to try to connect those dots, because they might not have had the plans that they ended up going with at this time when they made this annual.
And I think that's completely fair. I think that happens all the time with comics and any story, that especially if it's much later when that gets explained, it could have been something where a guy just wrote a quick little line in, and then it went, oh, that's a good idea. And they didn't see it as canon. Annuals aren't always seen as canon. Sometimes they are. Sometimes comics, people just,
I don't. This one's hard to say, because they like the Trini stuff. Like, that doesn't seem like a canon thing, or the damn stupid putty thing. But who knows? I would assume this backstory has to be canon. Like, every enemy origin or minion origin, I feel is canon in this, and it's not too far off. Just because there's that one line, everything else kind of adds up. I mean, what's also cool about the Goldar origin story is that it shows how he connected with Rita, that he knew Zed before he knew Rita.
Does that come up again?
Well, I mean, when you watch the show, it's just Goldar with Rita, and he's stuck in the dumpster with her. But this shows that he knew Zed before Rita, and he's pretty much going at the whim and command of Zed to do everything he can for his new Empress.
That's fair. I definitely look forward to seeing more.
I do too.
The more I read, the more I'm getting into Power Rangers, which is, I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm getting there. You've gotten my interest a lot more. That's for sure.
But now that the appetizer's over.
Yeah, that's fair.
Really?
We can go to issue 5, which you had talked a little bit about this last time we recorded. And I was thinking that we're going to get a whole arc of this. I am happy it's just one issue with some backstory, and then it's right back to the good stuff, right back to the continuation. This is good too. But this cover is cool, where you have Rita holding Zach, pulling him away, and the rest of the Rangers trying to pull him down. It's a cool cover.
Like a puppet on a string or a toy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's happening.
It's also really, really cool to see that other countries, because I don't think they did it in the show. But yeah, Rita decides to just be a dick in other countries as well. So,
Yeah, she's just not
like that.
Just Angel Grove. Like, here we are in Italy.
Fighting what I assume is that a monster from the show? Because it looks like they just created a fucking something out of Greek mythology.
That is not from the show. They mention what it is. So remember, so they say in the comic here that he's quoting Da Vinci lines. Well, remember the human anatomy kind of artwork that Da Vinci made? That's what that is.
Oh,
okay. That's cool.
okay. I mean, I was the same way. I was like, oh, this also takes place 1 month before the Tommy stuff happened.
So the prime minister says, I think it's supposed to be the Vitruvian Man. That's what they're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, but it is cool to see that that she's attacking a different country. We never, like Joe said, we never see that. And I was always curious about it. I was like, this is cool to see it here, that they decided to do that somewhere. I liked it. This is just a good issue. Like the beginning of seeing this monster terrorize Italy, and then the Rangers just come and start fighting it. Like, it was cool. I mean, it was very different than what we normally get, and this was a different comic too. I appreciate.
Well, and also to see what they do, the Rangers do, how it affects them. So, like, if Jason's getting all this praise when Zach kind of technically saved the day, and it shows how it affects him and hurts him personally, I think that was a good touch too.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seeing Jason come out of the Zord and try to save the prime minister, but almost get killed by the monster, except for Zach saving them. Like, it's a cool dynamic, because you really don't see them do that.
That he would have died. Like, he would have got stepped on, and that would have been it.
Who's coming back on that? And you kind of start, because when we read the last issue, you had made comments. You're like, hey, pay attention to the fact that Zach's really tired and upset. And I was thinking, I wasn't thinking this, because you find out that Rita's watching it, and Rita sees the anguish in Zach, and she sees that he can maybe be a puppet.
Sparks the idea to have like a what do you call that? A dead cell? Somebody that's gonna turn on the Rangers, use them against them. That's what sparked everything for her, and what eventually gave us Tommy. So Joe, you should be very grateful for Zach.
I also do like the idea of there being just a little bit of drama there too, because it makes sense. Mike said earlier. Yeah, you have the glory hound, and you also have the idea of like, there is a possibility there, and even I think it's supposed to tease like something like, oh yeah, like why have all multiple of them when they should just be one person kind of thing. So it's I see where it's enticing, but also I'm glad it ends up being a whole thing where it's like, no, I like my friends. Fuck you, bitch.
It's also cool how she kidnaps them just like how they kidnapped Tommy in the show. She sends a bunch of putties to beat the shit out of him.
So the question of why didn't they just take out the Rangers in civilian form and just like kill them? I don't understand. Look how jacked that putty is too. That's like holding Zach down.
Maybe they didn't does she actually want to kill them?
I would assume so. I mean,
Jason
would have got stepped on. Oopsie. And you think that would hurt her feelings? I don't think so.
Good point. I don't know. I just wonder what, like, if you know where they are in person, but maybe there's like, you don't see it a lot.
They caught up by himself. I mean, she also knows where they live. Like Scorpina shows up at people's houses for a nightcap. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense in that case.
I mean, if you also want to be even more technical about it, you can even see inside of the Zord, because how the hell did she know that Zach's the one that did the fucking finishing blow? So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, side note, there's Goldar's wings. I think he had them folded, like Silverback. You can kind of see the same like design on his back, and I think they just had the wings folded in.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering about it because I'm like, where are his wings? I expect wings on my Goldar, but okay, I regress. But I'd like that when they throw him in the cell too, and it's just, I thought that was cool. Or he's handcuffed, and then Rita's like, "No, we're friends. I just want you to listen to me." And then she brings him into the palace. I thought that was cool, and where she's really trying to manipulate him, and you see where he has a vision of himself as the Green Ranger.
I thought that vision of him in the Green Ranger suit was really, really dope.
Yeah, same.
Same. I like it though. He's like, well, what about the rest of them? She's like, they'll understand eventually. Where she's like, you have to betray them, but they'll understand. They'll get why you decided to turn your back on them. I like it. I like how he's like, fuck you, and then he tries to steal the green coin, and it doesn't work out very well.
I can't wait till you guys see the Green Ranger origin.
I'm so excited.
Is that coming up soon?
I don't know if it's that soon, but
okay,
you'll know when you see it. It's going to be really interesting.
I can tell you this right now. I read chapter 9, and I am thoroughly excited.
Hey, good news. Before we get to chapter 9, the next one we do is the Pink Ranger miniseries.
Oh, shit.
One I have not read, so interesting.
That's the published order, I think, from what I found out. Yeah. After we did this, it's those 6, and then we do 9 and a couple of those.
You mean that statue of the Pink Ranger that I have that I bought because it's like the dopest looking fucking costume I've like ever seen?
That might be Ranger Slayer you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's something completely different. If that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what
it is. The black and pink? Oh, yeah, because if that's the case, you're going to be seeing Ranger Slayer fairly soon. Like Shattered Grid, she's going to be all over.
Oh, shit.
Oh, she's that awesome. Early?
She's early enough. I'm not going to get into more details than that.
No, I don't want to.
She'll be around.
Okay, I just didn't realize it was that. I thought it was later or something. That's cool. I'm looking forward to when we get to Shattered Grid. Oh, so after Zach fights them, he punches them, and then he warps back, and he tells Zordon what happened. But Zordon, they don't tell the other Rangers what happened.
And as far as I know, I don't know if he ever says it. Like, if I'm really thinking about the series, like, I don't know if he ever tells anybody.
I took it as he doesn't. That's how it felt to me, is that he kept that shit to himself. Which, I mean, is definitely going to, build some betrayal there.
Right. So. But at least later on, they kind of let him bond, and not necessarily bond, but kind of relate to Tommy. Like, man, I know what it's like. You made the choice that I didn't, but, I can kind of relate because I wanted to do it.
I do like how you have a small scene where he's at a diner or somewhere with them, and they're like, "Hey, I'll buy you food because you saved my life."
They're showing that appreciation, which when you really think of the Rangers, that is who they're supposed to be. They're supposed to acknowledge that kind of stuff, and it took them a little time, but eventually they did. It's
a sweet little scene, and then the very last panel or the last couple is Rita being like, "Who's this Tommy guy?" Essentially,
open out this guy doing his martial arts lonely on a beach in
Yeah,
Cali.
look, he's also wearing green, the perfect way to tell he's perfect.
Yeah, it's the only thing she put together.
They love wearing their colors. They really do in this.
And
Also got the Black Dragon here
Oh, yeah, he's talking to her, but you don't know who it is that's talking to her.
at this time. Yeah,
and as usual, I assume we all skip the weird, stupid Bulk and Skull mini comics that are at the end of every
Of course,
chapter.
I'm not going to read a single one of those.
pay attention to what Black Dragon's saying. It might be kind of throwaway to you guys, but that has a lot more weight and a lot more meaning than what you guys know currently.
What's he saying?
That
He'll turn his back, he'll join them, and then see, he'll leave you, he'll turn his back, he'll join them. Those pretty much those words there. The rest of it, not so much. But the others, he's saying that for a reason.
Oh, he's okay. I did not think about that.
There's some heavy shit coming with that. Always remember those lines.
This is a good book. This is a better book than I expected it to be. It really is. It's definitely like this. Like I was surprised. So with issue 6, it starts off right where issue 5 ended, or not 5, but 4 ended from the volume 1. And this one really threw me for a loop because Zordon and them are pretty much gone at this point.
They are completely gone.
And I'm like, really? Like that's where we're going this quickly into the book? Like we are just getting rid of those characters immediately and doing something different. And we're letting you know we're doing something different. Because you start having a TV reporter talking about all the damage from the aftermath of when they were fighting, which I thought was cool. And it wasn't Angel Grove, it was San Francisco. So that was nice.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
I didn't either.
Well, that's what happened when with the Dragon Zord, all that fighting and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You remember the river bridge that is called San Francisco Bridge, whatever the hell that's called.
Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate Bridge, there you go.
And you have a small a page of Tommy's mother getting upset that he's not ready for school, but he's not in bed.
She's also wearing, so this family has a fetish of green.
Oh, yeah, she's wearing a green sweater or a green shirt, something green.
Well, to be fair, I guess, in the show, anytime they show the Rangers' parents, they always wore the same colors.
That's adorable. I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either. It must not be often that you see them.
You don't. It's like 1 or 2 episodes max.
It's parent day, and you find out one of the Rangers' parents work too much, so we have to figure out why. And then there's a stupid monster Rita made to make Zach's dad work overtime every day, so he can't make it to the family fun day.
Is that really an episode?
No, I pulled that out of my ass.
I could see it being an episode. I mean, you could too.
Yeah, there's an alt universe where I became a fucking writer for this fucking show, and it probably still exists. God, did y'all fucking see that? Real quick tangent.
What?
That they I think I might post it in the messenger that they're trying to sell Power Rangers to Netflix again, and Netflix didn't want it, and they were trying to. Apparently, they're still doing it though. They want to bring back Power Rangers, but they only want to do Mighty Morphin. They don't want to do anything else. They don't want to bring back. They don't want to pull from the Super Sentai. They just want to bring Mighty Morphin back. And apparently, whenever they were trying to do the reboot, they only picked like I think 10 episodes from the original season to remake, and I guess Netflix didn't want it, and they're still trying to sell it to other companies or Sabanins or someone. I really don't know.
Dude.
That sounds really dumb.
It shouldn't be this damn hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, it should not be that hard to make a good story from a good comic or a good just thing in general. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out like it could come out like years later, and I wouldn't be surprised where it's just like, so why did we never get like a Power Rangers reboot or anything? And it's like Okasaban kept trying to write into the contract that he wants like royalties. And that's why every company kept telling him the fuck off.
You know, you could be completely right. Because I'm sure that asshole would somehow be doing that. So I could completely see it. He didn't, sure he kind of created it, but he really just took something he found in a different country at a time when internet wasn't a thing yet and went, oh, hey, look at this cool thing that they made. I'll just resell it here. Yeah, I don't like that guy.
Not many do.
Weird question I asked. Have either of y'all ever finished The Flash, the live action TV series?
No.
It was too long.
I tried, then I think I got to see. I got near the end and I just stopped.
Did you guys ever see? Well, then if you got towards the end, that's fine. This is like I want to say maybe 4th or 5th season. Do you remember Savitar or something like that?
Yes.
That's what Black Dragon reminds me of.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Completely fair. For Rich, if you don't know, Savitar is a Flash from the future. It's essentially, spoilers, a different Barry Allen when he split himself at one point to do something. He made multiple versions of himself in different timelines. And this one came back to kill him because he's mad at him for forgetting about him. That's one thing I always say about the Flash show too. It's always the villain's always the Flash. That's why I stopped watching every time.
Pretty much.
It's just different versions of the Flash, but yeah. It's. I mean, I like that show a lot. I forgot. I got to a season 6 or 7 or whatever. Maybe it was 6. It had like 2 different villains, and I didn't even finish the first half. And I was like, this is dumb. So, but I can't remember much about it. It's been a really long time. But yep, he does look kind of like Black Dragon. So, and then this issue starts off. You have a comment. I'm assuming this means more than I think it does. Where Black Dragon says, "I would offer you one chance to surrender, but I think we know what your answer would be." He knows more about Tommy than we realize, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I take it at this point.
Does. He keeps dropping those hints. He's here for very serious, very direct reason.
And is this a brand new character?
Yes,
it is.
Okay.
I'll admit him. I'd kill, like, legitimately. I would sacrifice. There's a very clear amount of children I would sacrifice, which is infinite. Because it's legitimately, you seeing it in comic is just badass in general, just to prove it too. Where he's like, okay, you're not going to surrender, fine, and he just starts screaming, and their suits are falling apart. It's just a great like section of panels.
It is. Has this ever happened in like the show where they were losing their powers like this?
Not in this sense.
Okay. Probably couldn't do it in a cheap budget. So.
Oh, absolutely not. Like where they're like fading away. No, and they explain it as it's like razors peeling off their skin or something.
I like it. It is badass. And I mean, he starts to do it. They're losing their powers, and then Kimberly gets an arrow to the face, shoots an arrow to his face, and then that gets him to be distracted for a bit. But he's still handling their ass to them.
So this guy, like he knows a little bit about the Morphin grid. He's experienced. He's done stuff like this before. Pay attention to all that. This guy is no joke. It's not just some Rita's monster trying to figure shit out and make puns. Like this guy has been down this road before.
And he really, really hates Tommy. I've noticed that too. No, I'm excited to see where it goes. And I think there's a good scene here where he's choking Tommy and then Zach saves Tommy.
I think he whoops everyone's ass.
He does. He's just powerful.
He whoops everyone's ass, and that's why Trina's like, I mean, they still got retreat.
I mean, what are they going to do? Like, Zordon's gone, the command center's gone, and this one guy is just, and he can take away their powers. Like, what do you do in a situation like this?
Yeah, he rips off fucking Tommy's chest plate, or he's trying to at least. I'm like, oh god,
pulling on that shit like a bed sheet.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that. Yeah. Doesn't that armor protect him or something? Isn't that the purpose of it?
It is. You'll see more of the dragon armor origin as we go.
Okay.
You know, you could always ask. You can't ask Joe because I genuinely don't fucking know.
I know where their origin. It's actually very surprising, and you guys will not fucking be ready for where that armor comes from. So when we get into the Green Ranger origins, you're going to see the Green Ranger's outfit. You're not going to see that shield. That shield is someone else.
Oh, my money's on Zed's.
I'll let you guys speculate, but it's
okay. I'm definitely curious. I said that before. I'm definitely curious to see where things go and what we do get eventually.
Also, out of all the Rangers to get, poor Billy.
Yeah, but it also shows you how important Billy is to the team by them getting him.
Well, especially now when they have no other like input from anyone else that can fucking guide them. Oh, what we do now?
I mean, the way that like the way that the Black Dragon guy, he just grabs the rest are teleporting. He just grabs Billy and said, "Okay, you'll do."
Dude, look at how he pulled him out. Like the teleportation beam is behind. It's still in the damn air. I didn't even know that's possible.
It's pretty fucked up.
He's just a badass.
That Black Dragon
really is a badass in this.
I can't wait. Shattered Grid is going to be a fuck ton of fun for you guys.
I'm very much looking forward to when we get there.
So, Rich, what is this they get teleport to? What the fuck is all this? Like,
it's a pocket dimension. So, like, think of where the Rangers train. Like what do they call it? Like almost like the danger room, but it's a whole dimension to where there's no consequences really. And I think they mention it here somewhere that like this training area is dilapidated because no one's there like Zordon or Alpha to kind of like upkeep it, so it just looks all fucked up and glitchy.
Yeah, they make a comment about that it's falling apart because Zordon's not there.
Yeah. That's all.
I also
it's just a temporary safe space.
I do appreciate how they very often have it to where they're not wearing their helmets so you can see their faces. I like that personally. I think that's a good touch.
Especially when
I mean, probably in the show too, but
it does happen in the show, but usually in the command center.
Well, that's because that was the stuff they had to film. It wasn't reused footage.
Suits, shit. Even when season 2, when they had to film their own stuff, like I doubt the actors were in there too much.
I bet he was crying when he had to pay for it. He's like, I don't have the money. This takes away from my profit.
Yeah, he actually paid Japan to make some more footage too.
I bet he was upset about that one.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's very cool. And then when I was not expecting to see this early in this comic either. I mean, I didn't know it was here, but just this, you see a scene where Alpha is all screwed up and Black Dragon's just standing there. He's like, we won. And this is when he uses the green crystal, whatever. I don't know what the fuck the green crystal is, but he uses it to get through the Morphin grid and he takes away their powers. Everyone but Tommy.
That was the crystal that they shoved into the fake Green Ranger dagger.
Yeah, but I thought it was gone. Like, I was surprised that it was still there. That's all.
They implied in one of the chat. I think that was the last chapter, but the last arc that we read. At the end of it is she says something like, "Oh, we failed, didn't we?" And I think Rita was like, "No, we got what we needed," and she's still holding the crystal. So I guess it did what it needed to do.
Okay, I'll take it. That's just a good little moment to see what he does, and then when they lose their powers and like they just don't know what to do, they're like, "What the fuck?" And Tommy's just the only one still in a suit. And is it here that she mentions that Scorpina's dead? Because I didn't realize it. But yeah, Scorpina's gone.
Yeah, she's pretty much out of here.
That made me sad.
She didn't have a big run in this. I guess they didn't really have much of a purpose for her. I mean, what they got coming in this series, it probably isn't much room for her. But it was kind of like almost like an off-screen death. Like you didn't really see her die. They just mention it.
I guess she got killed in the previous issue when they're fighting, but yeah.
They say like when they broke the command center, she died in there, but kind of abrupt. Like you don't even notice until they mention like, oh yeah, like she died. Yeah,
I was a little let down by that. Then that brings us to issue 7, and this is a badass cover. Terrifying. This would be cool as a poster. The 4 Rangers in the center with their Zords around them with red eyes looking at them like they're going to kill them. It's a badass cover.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's almost as if we should have fail safes for these fucking Zords.
Well, I mean, we don't even really understand. At this point, I feel like we don't really I'm going to speak for myself. I don't understand how the Zords work. I know a little by all the Power Ranger stuff we consumed in the last few years, but but I still don't really understand it.
Rich, are we gonna fucking find out something fucked up like Evangelion, where the Zords are people, or they have like human souls or some shit?
No, there's none of that stuff. No. I can't explain the animalistic nature of them. I mean, it's kind of implying, like, especially like further seasons of Power Rangers, they almost make them as if they're sentient beings in a way. In Mighty Morphin, they don't really go into that kind of stuff, and I don't necessarily think they are. They kind of act animalistic, but it seems to be fully controlled robots by the Rangers themselves.
Okay, I was just curious.
Even though they come out of volcanoes, all kind of crazy shit, you know?
Yeah. And then this issue starts out with Billy waking up in the cell, and I don't like how he doesn't, just because his glasses are broke. He's like, "Where am I?" Like, I'm blind on my glasses. But
I don't know. I don't think he's ever seen the Dark Dimension. I think he's heard of it.
Yeah, he heard about from Tommy.
I heard Tommy's been there, but I don't know. And obviously Zach.
I think Jason was there too at this point. I mean, because I'm assuming the show, like the stuff that was in the show up to Green Ranger, is canon.
Jason fought Goldar, all that stuff. Yeah, he was there, and that Goldar in the background was a pretty nice one, right behind Bill.
I like that, and he's like, because he's all mad at him, he's like, "You're in shackles." Like, maybe we're both in the same boat here, buddy. Like, I like that. And then then you see the Black Dragon starts touching the Zords and taking them over. That's badass.
Are they burning? Oh, they burnt the putties into a throne. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, she needed a throne, and I mean, what better use than to take your loyal followers and just start lighting them on fire?
Don't give people ideas.
What better use of your followers than to turn them into your chair?
I think that might be the throne from her throne room. I think because when you see up here, it says, "Hurry now, Empress Rita wants this wall built yesterday." So I think they're actually repairing some of the command center.
Couldn't they get a different material besides your own men?
I mean, they're putties. I think
they're putties. Yeah. They're useless, mindless clay.
Maybe not to them.
The putty, unless it's that one putty that really liked Kim, I don't think they think that far.
It was interesting. Where she wants isn't the throne put right where Zordon used to be? I think.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
It's pretty fucked up.
And then she threatens she wants to make Alpha into a lamp.
So it can finally be useful.
It was kind of cool. And then I do like the stuff with Trini trying to figure out how the morphine grid works and why they don't have access, and how she's like, "Well, if Billy was here, Billy could figure it out." I thought that was good.
I do love the idea of being like, "Oh man, we're so fucked. Why? Because we don't fucking have Billy."
Really?
I think it's good.
It is.
Billy's also my favorite.
Trini in the series was always like the second Brainiac next to Billy, so that's why they're leaving it up to her, which makes a lot of sense why they're giving her this role right now. But again, she's her intelligence score in D&D is not as high as his, so she's struggling a little bit.
See, I don't remember any of this from the actual show.
Yeah, they paired her up with Billy more often than not, and had her translate some of the brainy techno babble, he would say.
I didn't watch enough of it, apparently.
I remember.
I fell off Power Rangers pretty quick when I was a kid, so.
Even in the, first season? Like,
I was gone before they switched actors.
Oh, damn, yeah. I mean, that was too, though.
I don't know if it was like the timing of it just didn't work for what my TV watching was as a kid or whatnot, but I just know I didn't stick with it.
I legitimately have no idea how the fuck I watched Power Rangers as a kid, because I'm like a little bit younger than y'all, and I'm like, wait, they were still airing Power Rangers, so either my parents bought me every fucking like VHS that came out, and that's how I remember the series, or they were just running reruns constantly, which also makes sense.
I can tell you.
I'm going to say number 2.
Yeah, because me and my nephews were gigantic Power Ranger fans when we were kids. They were probably, 4 to 6 years younger than me. So
yeah, they were little around. They would have been little around this time.
Yep, they were. So obviously, I grew up It came out in '93. I was like 5 at the time, and it was everything to me. So my nephews, when they were coming up, they're the one that they remember the most, and what they really started watching was like Zeo and beyond. So they were a little late to the game. And any time that we talked about the original team, they would always refer to it as Blast from the Past, because when they aired the reruns on Fox Kids, they always named the reruns, the marathon of reruns, Blast from the Past. So they refer to those Rangers as that. There was tons of.
God. That's cute.
$5 says too. They only aired the good episodes as well.
I think that's kind of cute though. I forgot they did that.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't know, but I don't know. If it's all you know, it's all you know.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't Mighty Morphin to them or the originals. It was just Blast from the Past.
Yeah, because that was the advertisement for it. I like that. And I definitely can see Fox Kids doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Blast from the Past. This came out 2 years ago. Blast from the Past. Oh, Fox.
By the time Zeo was 96. So 3 years ago was Blast from the Past.
I guess it doesn't take long, huh? And then the next part, I think this is nice too, where you have Kimberly and Tommy just talking. Because you really do see that she cares for him in this. And I think they did a good job with that. Of really trying to orchestrate that.
Yeah, he doesn't give it a lot back, but I think that's playing up to the fact that he is going through a lot and he can't really provide as much back to her, even though he does care.
Yeah, I think that's fair too. And this is when Rita ends up telling the world that she has control of the Zords. And again, you get to see Paris, you get to see Japan with the Zords are just towering over the cities. I think that's a really cool, because I just like seeing this, that, it's a world-threatening event, not just, I'm going to destroy this one city because I hate teenagers.
See where it says Shibuya 109? I was actually in Shibuya.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were in Japan.
You see Shibuya, Mike? That's also The World Ends With You.
I know. I do want to go to Japan someday really bad, but I don't know when that's going to happen.
Worth it. I plan on going
sounded cool.
again.
It sounded damn cool. I'm glad you were able to go too.
When did you go, Rich?
You said when?
Yeah, when did you go?
Went back end of March, start of April. I was there for 2 weeks.
Oh, you should have picked up some fucking Power Ranger stuff, man.
Dude, I couldn't find a lot. Like, I was definitely looking. Like, I went to, I don't know if you're familiar with Tamashii Nations. So that is a toy company out in Japan. They've been making figures for fucking ever. It's been around a long time. And I actually have some of them here at the house that I bought imported. But when I went to the actually Tamashii Nations like store over in Tokyo, it was very limited Ranger stuff. And the Ranger stuff that they did have was like Dino Chart. Mm. It wasn't like the originals. So I was like, I'm not that interested. But believe me, I looked. Even like not flea markets, but like smaller stores I might have. So there's a lot of toy stores. I went to Akihabara, which is like,
yeah,
you know what that is. So I went there. No Ranger stuff almost anywhere, dude. Like the best that I saw maybe was like a Zord. That was about it, man. It was very rare. Like I was the only one wearing Ranger stuff. Like I brought my Power Rangers like hat and shirt and all that, but that was it.
Oh, I'm surprised, but maybe that's just time has come and gone.
No,
we got to think like that Sentai to them is like way in the past. Like they're more about the newer Sentai. They don't give a shit about our version of Power Rangers. You know,
we just love it.
You say that, but I've seen like I was gonna say I've at least seen, which you probably have to at least look for or at least know where to go, because I've seen stuff for like Kamen Rider, but I've seen stuff where like and even then stuff too, because it's like you had the main places, but there's some back alley stuff like where I saw they have like all the Kamen Rider stuff, and I imagine they have also Super Sentai stuff, and they have it for like super cheap, because the one thing at least I'll give to Japan too is like Japan does not overcharge. Like I think it's actually illegal to like overcharge for shit that's readily available. So like here you can get a game, it's like $300 for a Game Boy, but if you go to Japan it's like, oh, you want a Game Boy? Yeah, it's like $20 Japanese. Because
I saw some liquor. I was at the liquor store Saturday, and I haven't seen. There's this one whiskey I had out there. I had multiple ones out there. There was one that really stood out that I kind of wanted here. Out there, you could I want to say you could probably find it for like, let's say $30-$40. Here, that shit was like $175 at the liquor store. Like, oh, so they do have it here. It's just outrageously priced.
Capitalism, baby.
and it's imported.
Yeah, but they still don't. But I think you are right. I think Japan does have a law where they can't, like, I mean, they can make a profit, but they can't do, like, here, they can just do whatever the fuck they want. And who cares?
Well, I do know the one hat that I bought out. Well, I bought a couple hats out there. There was one that was like Japan, like baseball. That shit, I don't know if it was a special edition one. Maybe it is different than the ones I've been seeing online. I bought that shit for probably $125 out there. I didn't really do the yen conversion at the time, but when I bought it, I was like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. And normally I was converting it to make sure I was getting the price that I wanted. That I didn't, because I was like, there's no way they're going to charge me that. And they did. And then I came back here and started getting advertisements for a hat that looks very similar. If it's not the same one, it was like $50.
Damn.
Yeah, probably not the same thing, I'm guessing.
I'm hoping not at this point. Big enough of those stupid.
I mean, because there's always counterfeit stuff and, you know, other things that are a spoof of it, especially if it was, I mean, if it was a Temu or Wish ad, it wasn't the real thing, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you order a $50 hat and get a $5 hat with the the R's backwards and the Ranger and the Red Ranger symbol looks like Barney.
Yeah, I would never. Like, I only buy, like, especially hats, like, from legit sites. Like, I wouldn't even fuck around otherwise.
I bought stuff off Temu. You can get some good garbage off Temu, but it has to be like, well, I mean, I have a really cool rug, an Eevee rug that I got off Wish that actually was really nice for $10 or $15, whatever it was. It was a really nice little rug.
So one thing that I should have bought in Japan, and I was really debating on it, but I was like, man, I only got so much room and I'm taking all these souvenirs. But I was at the New Era hat store out there, and I wear a lot of New Era hats. It's like my go-to. They had the Pokemon edition New Era hats, which are only Japan. I didn't pick any.
But you're not a big Pokemon fan anymore. Right?
Not that big anymore. No, I wouldn't play the games anymore, only because they're the same old shit rehashed.
I don't know. I've lost a lot of interest in Pokemon.
Pokemon conceptually is still really, really good. I mean, the last one I played was Sword and Shield. Probably won't be playing anymore unless there's some big drastic change in the series, which I doubt will ever happen.
I'm slowly going back and playing the old ones, but it's not fast. Or just going through and playing the series. Like I did Platinum earlier this year, but it's really slow, like one every 2 years or one a year. Like I just don't have the drive.
I mean, it's not made for us necessarily. I mean, and then the end game is a little bit bland, especially if you don't competitively battle. It's like, what am I doing this for?
I just get the A badge and beat the Elite Four and put the game down.
That's all. I like kind of building teams, so that's fun. But it's like, all right, I just go through some of the post game like extra optional stuff, and then it's like, all right, this is boring.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. Then it's time to put the game away and play the next game. Or if you have a game a week you have to beat for a podcast, it's easy to say, "Oh, time to go move on." So, but to finish up this issue, I do like where they're like, we need to get to the Morphin grid to stop what the Black Dragon's doing, and Tommy's like, "Well, I have a way." So his idea is to shoot to the moon with a dragon sword.
Yeah,
I don't like this.
Uses his rocket fingers to get there.
No, I didn't see that. That's cool. That's hilarious. And also, I think this is the first time you ever seen Power Rangers where, like, they have a defense system. Like, this is the Death Star. Like, there's putties manning turrets, and I don't think we've ever seen that before.
No.
So, I refuse to believe. So, they know Rita exists, right? I'm surprised in this universe there is not at least in this time span, because how long have they been Power Rangers in this boom run so far? Maybe a year? You don't want to shoot for a year?
I'd say about that.
You cannot convince me they have not tried to blow up the moon knowing Rita's on there. No one's allowed to convince me that has not been a thought in America's mind, at least.
Well, Joe, if you destroy the moon and you lose the waves and the tide, and you have to sacrifice a girl to become the spirit.
You're telling me Trump would not blow up the fucking moon?
I mean, he'd be too dumb to figure out how to do it. So
they do it though. They just tell him if we should do it, and he'd be like, "Yeah, we blow up the fucking moon." America would blow up the fucking moon.
They definitely consider it.
Hey, we actually make use of Space Force then.
Oh.
Maybe they go send some Spartans up there. They could do some drop ships.
The official name for SpaceX Spartan, because if it is, someone's suing someone.
I don't think it is. No, I'm just making a joke. I just got done playing Halo Fireteam Raven today, so that's why.
Also, a separate question for Rich. What the fuck is the name of the palace, of Rita's Palace? Is it Rita's Palace?
Bandora.
A Pandora Palace?
Yeah, Bandora from the Sentai.
Who's fucking sign? Who's that sign for? You're on the fucking moon.
Oh yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
I didn't catch that. Hey, look, welcome to our palace. It's for Rita. She just wanted people to know. Maybe she had guests over, I mean, there's Zed. Who else could she? Maybe that weird pirate lady from the Turbo movie. You never know.
Mother, Dad, Master Vile, and Rito Repulso.
I do like this that with Tommy being there, then the Black Dragon guy attacks him and even says, "Welcome back, Tommy." I didn't know if he knew who his name was before. Maybe he did.
Buddy, you already know he's got a connection to him for some reason.
Yeah. So I do like this how he grows big to fight the Dragon Zord. I thought that was cool, and he pretty much is beating the Dragon Zord. Then Tommy's like, "Okay, I'll fight you as a little guy."
Just a little guy.
I don't know what he's gonna like. What are you gonna do outside your Zord to a giant monster? Say nothing.
Jason gets uppercutted into the fucking stratosphere.
It's cool.
And notice because he's out of his suit, he got practically knocked out.
Yeah, he's not as powerful because he's missing his protection.
Bang job.
It's a cool touch. And then that brings us to issue 8. This is a cool cover where you have the Dragon Zord and you have Tommy and Jason fighting putties. So I like it.
Doesn't happen on Earth, but that's fine.
Oh, that's not Earth?
I mean, that's supposed to be Earth, but they don't do that.
I don't know. I like the cover. These covers so far, we have not had a miss cover, which I think is great.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a nice cover. It almost reminds me of like another Double Dragon kind of setting.
I could see that.
Beat 'em up.
Mm-hmm. I would make a joke saying we don't have a Power Rangers beat 'em up yet, but we do. We're getting one that's coming out soon, so I'm really fucking excited for that.
We actually have, dude, like, if you really compile all the Power Rangers beat 'em ups, there's probably at least 4 or 5 of them, if not more.
It's not enough.
It's not, and especially for none of them to be that good. Like the last one that I bought came out probably, I don't know how many years ago, let's say 6 to 8 years ago, sucked so much ass.
What's it called?
Dude, I don't remember. I bought it on PS4 back in the day. I don't remember.
Oh.
It was not good.
Yeah, I believe that. But I love the cut, and also is that a camera or a cell phone that Bulk and Skull record their Power Ranger stuff on? Because it looks like a cell phone.
Yeah, it is, because you can kind of see it's like an iPhone when you got the little button over there on the right side.
Oh, yeah. The fake iPhone, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking iPhones. Why do people like iPhones?
Oh, we're pretty good. I got one.
I had this argument every time it comes up. I hate them. I hate Apple products. I don't own a single one.
But look, Mike, you got your answer. Fucking Tommy dematerialized his dragon shield to get dropped.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't look right without it.
No, he doesn't.
Get used to that when you get to the Green Ranger origin, because that's what you're going to see.
I'm looking forward to it. I didn't know you could disengage it, though.
Yeah, I mean, what's really weird, like as a kid, like when some of the Green Ranger toys that came out, you could take the shield off. I'm like, this is not right. I don't like this.
I had a White Ranger toy as a kid, and it did not have the shield, and I'm like, I fucking hate this. Whatever.
Didn't he have like gold diamonds underneath it?
Yeah, he had gold diamonds underneath it. It's even weirder.
Even more weird, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I do like how he picks up a turret and then shoots the Black Dragon guy with the turret. It doesn't do anything, but it is cool.
He's taking on a fucking 30-story or whatever type of monster, and he goads him into going small. I thought that helps him too damn much.
Well, it helps him because then the Dragon Zord attacks and he's littler, so he takes more damage.
I mean, and notice that he hesitated on finishing them off.
Mm-hmm.
I also didn't expect it because it's a little bit later when they rip off his arm.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know he was a robot.
I guessed he was a robot.
You guys are waiting for me to say something, and I'm not going to say shit. I'll let you figure out more as we go.
I mean, it at this point, I'm not saying it either, but it's pretty obvious. I mean, he's talking shit about how Tommy had it all, so and then he threw it away. Yeah,
we got when the ball drops, it's going to be very interesting. And I want to say more about Black Dragon right now, but I'm just, and it's not even that big about what I want to say, but I'm still not even going to ruin that.
To be fair though, even at the end of the day though, it's such a great design, and like it's a very menacing character to start off with. So I'm glad that we at least got it in general. And I am hoping we do get more of him, which I guess we do.
You definitely will. And the thing is that what I like about this whole arc, that I feel this is like, oh, we're deep in the shit now because they get to finally see the Rangers against the ropes and legitimately how the hell they're going to get out of this. So now that to me is always good writing when it's like, how is the team or how are these main characters, how are they going to get off the ropes and make a big comeback? Like that to me is good writing because everything's against them. Their leader's gone. Their main support is gone. Billy and Alpha. I mean, most of their powers are gone. Their Zords are taken. Like, how do you dig yourself out of that hole?
No, it is cool. It is good writing too. You're 100% right. This last couple of panels, though, when they decide, because he uses the arm, then correct, to somehow channel the arm from the Black Dragon to channel his power to other people.
Yes, they filter it through the phase blast that the arm produces, morphing through the phase blast. It's about as sciencey as it's going to get here.
No, that's fine. It's kind of cool. I was surprised when I saw them. I saw the other four in a greenish. Their outfit, but greenish.
Yeah, it just reminds me of Dr. Seuss Green Eggs and Ham.
Okay.
Oh, we also skipped over the other important part, which is Alpha is back as some reason.
Well, yeah, he's backup power supply booted up. Happens to be in his fucking head for him to be able to reach out to the Rangers and let them know what he's seeing and his opinions, and actually kind of gives a little bit of good advice with their plan to actually filter the Green Ranger powers.
I do like the part with Billy talking to Goldar, where Goldar, one of his last things he says is she has to. When he talking about that, she'll remember that he has value. I'm assuming he's going to play a part again in this. He's not just going to be locked up this entire comic.
It's Goldar, man. Yeah, he'll be out there.
Hopefully whooping ass.
I am very excited to read more. Like, I am definitely excited to read the next volume with them in their green outfits. So.
Oh, but they also, there's a couple things too. They explain like they don't really know what the fuck Black Dragon's made out of. He's weird looking and weirdly made, and then he gets his arm. Yeah,
and then like for them to just slap together a new arm within like 10 minutes is really? How'd that work?
Oh, they build a new arm for him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was fast. Yeah, I mean Finster can take freaking clay and make monsters. I mean, should we be surprised?
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll accept it, but it is like for them to say like the technology and the metal that they're using isn't like something that's familiar here. No,
I get where you're coming from. I'm just trying to look for sense. Maybe there isn't any, but I'm looking for it.
Yeah, not that important.
No, but it definitely got me. I am ready to read more. I am definitely on board for volume 3 of this.
And then I thought it was earlier, so that's my bad. We finally get the Zach Jason apology where, sometimes you gotta admit, whenever an evil empress offers you power, it is pretty tempting.
Really, I do like this little scene. I felt like they needed this. If they didn't have it, it would have felt like something.
I agree. I think this was good to have them talking and apologizing and just, it's a nice touch.
And it shows why Zach was even more skeptical of Tommy to begin with, because he knows what his offer was and what the intentions were of Rita and everything else. So just how he feels about it all.
Yeah, but in his, for Tommy, he didn't know what he was getting himself into versus where Zach understood who Rita is.
Well, I mean, besides Tommy being brainwashed too, didn't know.
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened. I forgot that was a thing.
Please tell me, Rich, that Tommy keeps wearing that arm for a while, because I'm not gonna lie, having a big robot arm is pretty fucking sweet.
Nah, enjoy it while you can. It's not gonna last.
Damn.
I didn't think we were gonna get it for that long.
Also, full offense, Rich, Jason would be the only one with the fucking dragon shield.
Dragon shield is
Green Eggs and Ham outfit too. Fine, whatever.
I mean, it was cool how it moved over. It was just weird to me.
I can't wait till we get to Shattered Grid some more, and you guys get to see other intended purposes that Jason had during some of what's to come. I can't wait till you fucking see how that works out.
I'm very excited to read more of these volumes. It definitely has my attention. I know that before we get to Shattered Grid, we also have to read some of the Go-Go Power Ranger stuff too, because that connects in there also.
Yep.
I don't even know what Go-Go Power Rangers even is.
If I remember right, I thought it had to do more with earlier Ranger stuff, and it eventually builds up and leads into a combination to a bigger arc between the two lines.
all taking place before the 2016 comic book series. This series is first full arc centers, okay, on their personal lives. Okay, well, this will be interesting. Yeah, because that comes up. We read a couple of those before we get to Shattered Grid, which is my big plan, is to get to Shattered Grid, because I really want to read Shattered Grid.
It sucks that the build-up is this long to Shattered Grid, but even then, the build-up, as you're seeing now, is enjoyable.
But then I think it kind of calms. I don't think it takes long before you get to the other big arcs, like Necessary Evil and some of the other ones.
Beyond the Grid, I think I want to say is right after Shattered Grid. Am I wrong?
It is. No, you're right.
All right, so
it's like immediately after.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild ride. There's a lot of shit that goes on in Beyond the Grid that you wouldn't expect, and a lot of team ups that you wouldn't expect. Just a whole lot of chaos until everything kind of comes back together again.
No, I'm excited to see kind of where it goes, and since I know it has an ending, it also feels good at the same time, because it's like I know that we just get to a certain point and then this run is over. So if we wanted to go that far, like it's I already have an ending. It's kind of nice. All right, we should go to the next thing we will be reading when we do the next one you hear of these will be the Pink Ranger volume, which is what takes place next.
Oh,
so we read 6 issues of that whenever that happens. All right, we should go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Joe, why don't you lead us in?
Yeah, I don't even know why you're having these goddamn going on the fucking.
I have to.
It's going on the goddamn shelf. The series is just blowing me away left and right. Like, can't handle all this Ranger. Can't handle all this Ranger in my face. It's just overwhelming.
I'll go next. I'm also going to put this on the shelf. I enjoyed it. It was a fun read. I read it almost twice. I had a good time. And I'm definitely as a guy who's not a big fan, I'm on board for more. So I think that's saying a lot right there. And Rich.
Well, you might be a bit surprised with my answer on this one. Fortunately, it has to go on the fucking shelf where it belongs. So, thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I'm kind of rereading these because it's been years. I'm kind of not rereading them as if it's the first time, but to just go through this amazing story again and just get refreshed on stuff like smaller, minor details that I might have forgotten, or it's interesting all over again. And knowing what I know now, I pick up on some of the smaller details, and I'm able to show that, your guys' way. So it's really enjoyable. Definitely would be on the show.
Okay. Some good freaking writing. So that's nice. It's always nice in my comic books. All right. If you enjoyed this episode, over 650 other episodes, if you want to hear the other Power Ranger comics before this and all the other Power Ranger stuff that we have done, it will all be in the show notes. You can easily go and find it. You can find all our content on Podbean or wherever you get your podcast, but everything on Podbean, you can easily search it and type in whatever you want. You never know. We might do it. We do movies, comics, TVs, all sorts of shit, video games. You never know. You never know what we're going to talk about on this podcast, because I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about on this podcast half the damn time. It just kind of happens. So if we go do that, if you want to support the show, we do a Patreon, a little dollar. You can vote in our Patreon poll. You will see a link in the show notes to that. We have 1 to 2 polls every month, so you get to affect the show. Join our Discord free, and you can chat with us and suggest new things to the show and be on the show. That's a great way to join the show if you want to, is join the Discord. And I put a lot of the casting when I'm looking for people to join me for episodes. So definitely go do that, and it's free. And please follow. Oh, yeah. And while you're shopping my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena, Hell Has Fury at TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram. Definitely go support her and check her out. And want to give a shout out to Bill Tucker from A Gamer Looks Before. Definitely check out his show. And I think that's everything. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, YouTube, audio only. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye now.
See ya.